Welcome back to Autism Live. I'm so thrilled that right now joining us live in the studio is Tom Iland, and we've had him on the show many times before. He is an amazing advocate. He's an amazing speaker and a coach and so many other things. It's like impossible to talk about all the things. He's an author. So Tom, welcome back to the show. Thrilled to have you here today. And I mentioned before earlier in the show that you recently won an award, and it's a very big deal. And so I want you to tell folks, and you even brought the award with you. So tell us what happened and what you won.
Certainly. So I'm a member of Toastmasters International. It's a not-for-profit that helps you improve your public speaking and your communication and your leadership. And Toastmasters has an elite accredited speaker designation for professional speakers that have mastered the art of public speaking. And last month I went to Denver, having gone through the whole process, and gave a speech in front of 1,000 people and was awarded the Toastmasters accredited speaker designation. This is a huge accomplishment, not just for myself, but a sign to the autism community as a whole, because for someone with a social communication disorder to master the art of public speaking, which is essentially socializing and communicating,
Yes.
This is breaking a lot of barriers, and no other person on the planet has autism and has this designation.
Isn't that amazing? And like there's very few people who have this designation at all to begin with.
Only 87 in the entire world.
In the world, and you are the only person who also has a diagnosis of an autism spectrum diagnosis to have this. So Tom, like that's got to be a pretty big affirmation for you that you're doing what you should be doing and that you're headed in the right direction.
Very much so. I recently discovered really the importance of telling my story and sharing what I've learned along the way, having some good lessons to impact people with and without autism. I'm discovering with this award that what I'm doing really impacts people outside of the autism community in addition to within. And
absolutely.
I'll never forget, rather, the standing ovation I got. I had all the mentors that helped me make this happen, and it was really an accomplishment.
1,000 people, and you're being judged. Like you've flown to Denver knowing that you're going to be judged in front of all these people. And then do they tell you immediately afterwards, or do you like hear a week later? What happens?
There were 5 judges, and each of them had their criticism or their pointers, but within 2 hours of me giving the speech, I knew the result, but I had to keep it a secret until the following day when we were recognized by everybody at that conference.
Wow. Well, that's really, I mean, like it hurts my face. It's so good, right? Well, congratulations, and thank you for being a trailblazer for that. And this also opens doors up to you because now people will know who you are. And know that you're an accredited speaker, so hopefully this is creating more opportunities for you to go and speak on the wide variety of things that you speak about. So if somebody's watching who would like to book a speaker, and they're like, oh, well, maybe I should book him, how would they get a hold of you? What would they need to do?
Well, I have a website, Thomas Iland, that's I-L-A-N-D, no S in Iland.
That's right.
So you can find me there, my contact information. I'm also on the major social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I have a YouTube channel, and next week they're going to release the video that got me this designation.
Well, I can't wait to see that. Will that be on your channel or will it be someplace else?
Both. Toastmasters has its own marketing department and releases videos, and they even have a magazine that they release to its members. So I'll be in that magazine in January when more people will be applying for the accredited speaker designation.
So how many years did it take you to get to the point where you had the big talk with 1,000 people?
So I applied first in 2018, and I had to document 25 speaking engagements from the last 3 years of when I applied. So I'm looking at all the places I've spoken, and these are non-Toastmasters speaking engagements, so I can't be speaking to Toastmasters and count that. But, so I got 25 speaking engagements together, 5 letters of recommendation from clients, and put together a video of me speaking about 25 minutes long. Gave that all to the headquarters, but they thought my video was not up to par. It didn't have enough people in the audience. It didn't show their reaction.
Oh, fussy.
Yeah, but there were plenty of opportunities for improvement, and the judges let me know if you make use of your speaking space better, if you show that you have a message that can apply and really use it to apply to that audience, and then also really let us see the energy
Yeah.
that people are receiving your message.
So great, you got some feedback.
got some
Because
feedback.
we can all always do better. I mean,
Sure.
nobody's ever going to be perfect. Okay, but so then you changed that, and then they brought you back.
Yes, so you can only apply in January of a given year. So I didn't make it in 2018, but I was able to get another 25 speaking engagements, another 5 letters of recommendation, got a new video in January of 19,
Right.
submitted that, and I followed the judges' criteria from last year, their pointers, and I got to the next level where Toastmasters invites you to go to one of their conferences,
Yeah.
conventions, and then give the speech in front of 1,000 people.
Well, that's some perseverance right there. Congratulations on you, because a lot of people after the first time would be like, well, I'm not going to put the time and energy into that, but look at where you've gotten to. Absolutely amazing. And then underneath of that, you have a magazine. Show us.
I was recently on the cover alongside Anita Lesko of Autism Asperger Sensory Digest.
I love
And
it.
in here is an article about my story and the book that I wrote with my mother come to life, and what I'm doing to improve the lives of people with autism and beyond.
Okay, well, fabulous, and and you look a little bit different because of there. You don't have the beard, but and I know you mentioned that you also have been. You're training for some big physical event. What did you say you're training for before we went on the air?
I recently decided to take an interest in my physical fitness, and in the last year I've run 2 marathons, the full 26.2 miles, one in Santa Clarita, one in Los Angeles, and now I'm trained to do a half Ironman triathlon. That's 1.2 miles of swimming, 56 miles of bike riding, and 13.1 miles of running, in that order.
Tom, like you're just like moving and shaking over here. It's absolutely amazing. So, and I said we were going to talk about something first, and then I changed gears on you, and you guys don't even know that. But like we sat here and I said, well, first we're going to talk about this, and then I said, no, we'll talk about this first, and then I went back to the old way and didn't tell him. And
Luckily, I'm flexible.
You're a true professional that he totally shifted gears, and I'm just now realizing I did that, so I apologize.
No worries.
But the first thing that we were going to discuss was your new career as an autism consultant for employers, especially Fortune 500 diversity and inclusion departments. So let's now talk about that. What's this about?
Well, unemployment is one of the biggest difficulties facing people with autism today. About 90% have no job or aren't making enough to make ends meet, not working enough hours. And a lot of times people with autism have great skills and abilities, talents, personality traits that make them so employable, but all too often they get overlooked. So what I'm doing is I'm approaching Fortune 500 companies, their human resources departments, their diversity and inclusion teams, to tell them about what I can offer, like to be a consultant to the employer and a coach to the employees with disabilities that they hire. So I could be like a liaison or a middleman between the two parties, because as we know, people with autism, when they're in the right environment, they have the right opportunity and the right support, they really do accomplish wonders. Just look at Cody Lee on America's Got Talent, a blind man with autism winning that championship.
Yeah, amazing.
So the same goes for what people with autism can do in the line of work. So I'm looking at, because I have a history in corporate America, being a CPA, working for a number of corporations, so I'm starting to make those connections, rekindle a few past relationships, so I can say, hey, this is what I'm doing now. I used to work for you, or I've worked in corporate. What can we do now to help the people with autism and their jobs?
Well, and people may not know, your backstory, because you were a CPA and, making a really good living and doing that. And then at a certain point you said, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And that's a really brave choice to make. And a lot of people say that, and they go, oh, well, so I'm going to go do something else, but they don't know how to follow through, and they don't know how to do. Tom is amazing, and that you have followed through. You said, I want to be a speaker. You've taken all the steps. You are speaking and speaking professionally, and now with this award, absolutely amazing. So I have no doubt that you're going to be killer at this, at being a consultant for employers and employees. And I think that employers would be very lucky to have you and your expertise to help with employees. There have been so many companies who have said, we're making a commitment that we're going to hire this many percentage or this many people who are on the spectrum by this and so date. And they have good intentions, and they start out and they go, because we know that these people have expertise at things, that they're good employees, but then a little thing can sometimes trip that all up. So I think for anybody who's looking at hiring this workforce, you just need to have Tom. Tom can help you all to get that done. So where do they reach you to do that again, Tom?
ThomasIland.com. You can contact me through that website or reach out to me on social media. It's all out there for the world to see, and I'd like to help people with and without autism become their best selves and realize their real and true potential, which is why what's next for me, I'm trained to become what's called a certified human potential coach.
Human potential. Ooh, that's like no more of the life coaching now. We're talking about human potential.
Human potential.
I like it. I like it a lot. Because you have been somebody who's been coaching individuals for a while now, helping them to figure out because everybody's path is different and everybody's interests are different, and figuring out how do they negotiate to find their way to the thing that makes them, as you always say, come to life. And that's what the book that you co-authored with your mom. If you guys have you've got a copy?
I do.
Because I didn't think to bring it
more
for myself. But great workbook. If you have, I would say tweens, teens, and young adults.
That's right.
Because my son and I got to do some of this, and it's just really, if you feel like you've lost some connection with your kiddo, or that they're kind of stagnating and they don't quite have any direction and they're not sure what to do this workbook with your kiddo. You will learn so much about your kiddo, and they will learn about you and start to see you as a human being. I can honestly tell you that before my son and I did this, I was really struggling with my son did not see me as a human being who had a beginning, middle, and I'm not even at the end, right? And this really helped us. So I really want to encourage you to do that. But you've been taking some of the practical things in that workbook and working with all kinds of individuals, adults, not limited to that teen, tween, and young adults, but working with a lot of people. As a coach, I'm doing, because now I'm like a human potential, what would you call that?
The certified human potential coach. And
coach. So we're still using the word coach. Okay.
Yes. The idea being that I wrote this book shortly after I left accounting, and I am still licensed as a CPA, but I don't practice accounting anymore now.
Good for you.
Because I've realized that I really do want to help people realize that they do have more power than they think. Because when you ask them the right questions, they may discover something about themselves they never knew before, or never even thought to consider. And then more doors start opening. And then before you know it, they're living a life that they never even thought was possible. And I'm leading by example, helping people see you can overcome the barriers that people place on you or that you place on yourself. And I don't think there's ever been a person with autism that's run a half Ironman before, so I'm going to be the first, or unless there's someone out there that has, please identify yourself.
Right in. Well, we know a lot of people who run marathons, but I don't know about Ironman. Like I have never covered that story before, Tom, so you might be the first person to do that. That would be a really cool thing. But all of this together, what I love is that you have found your passion. And that your passion is about helping others to live their highest potential. Yes. And what a wonderful passion to have. And what a wonderful thing, the last couple of weeks there've been a lot of parents who've been writing in and calling in after the show to ask about, how do I tell my kiddo about autism? And this is somebody who has a 7-year-old, somebody who has a 13-year-old, somebody who has a 19-year-old. How do I tell my child about the diagnosis? And one of the things that I always say is, there's no one way, because there's no one kid, there's no one family, right? But whatever you do, make sure that you're positive about it.
Very much so.
Make sure that they know and talk about role models and people that will be meaningful to them, and what a great role model you are. And what a positive message you have about, life is out there, and don't wait for it to come to you. You got to come to it.
That's why we named it Come to, because life doesn't come to you. It's up to you to come to life. You have to go out there, make things happen for yourself, take risks, even if it's scary, even if you might mess up once or twice. I didn't get this the first time.
Right, right. Well, I never noticed before because there's two subtitles here. One is Your Guide to Self-Discovery, but the subtitle is, go ahead.
Helping youth with autism and learning differences shape their futures.
Shape their
Because they are growing up. People with autism, the children become adults, and all too often we think, what's going to happen when they turn 18? Are they going to be able to lead a life for themselves? What kind of jobs can they have? Will they go to college? Will they get married, have children? All these questions we have for them, and when we ask them what they want, and then they say, I don't know.
Right.
Before you know it, they're leading a life that's not theirs, or we're shaping their futures when it should be them that shape their futures. Have a say in the decisions they make so they can live the life that they want.
I heard somebody say the other day, I don't want to be a professional victim.
Oh.
And I was like, yeah, none of us want to be that, but also none of us want to teach our kids to be that. And if we did flip the equation and not have it be like, well, you know, what is it going to be that comes to our child, and instead help them to find what it is that they want and move towards that direction.
And on that note, I think the accredited speaker designation also helped me see that I really have the power, because you've had my mother on here with me many times. We do make a great team. However, I've realized my mother had no part in this process. I did this all by myself.
Which is a wonderful thing.
Which is a great thing.
Like we all have that moment in our lives where we have to get to that thing. If we've had that kind of a parent, which you have had that kind of parent, I had this kind of a parent, that, you know, where you stand on your own and you do it your own way and do your own thing. And what a wonderful thing for you to say this huge accomplishment that you did completely on your own, which is which is not to say that you didn't have teachers,
right?
But you guys know what we're talking about here. So, what a great role model you are. Let's tell them again what the website is, where they can go to find you and all of this material, buy the book and book you as a speaker.
Certainly. So it's Thomas Iland, ILAND.com. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And I look forward to helping you realize your true potential. Let's come to life.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.